Ahmad believes Ruben Amorim is responsible for his Manchester United breakthrough having thrived. Now he's not following Erik ten Hag's lead. The Ivorian winger is enjoying a brilliant season at Old Trafford, having finally made a first-team role his own. The former Atalanta starlet has 5 goals and 7 assists so far, this term a record that includes a dramatic winner against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium earlier this month. Ahmad, 22, has already made 26 appearances for the Red Devils this term, more than he'd made in his entire United career under ten Hag. The Dutchman sent the youngster on loan to Sunderland in his debut campaign, before only affording him 9 Premier League outings the following season. And Ahmad believes that the added faith he is being shown by his new boss has allowed his true ability to shine. Speaking to Sky Sports, he said, "Let's say maybe it's confidence, because now I'm playing a lot of games. Like I am now, I've been every time like this, but maybe the game time and confidence. But now I'm happy to play more games. And I just want to fight for the club, for the team. Every time the manager gives me the confidence and gives me the chance to play for this club, I just want to show I can play for this club. My dream is to achieve a lot of things with this club. That's why I'm here. I want to fight for this badge, and let's see what the future brings." Amorim has already offered his verdict on Ahmad as he continues to shine. Even before the winger's match-winning display against City, the Portuguese coach was aware of his abilities. Speaking earlier this month, he said he is really big in talent, but small in size. He did a great job, but he also has to improve. He was really good again, Amorim told reporters. Ruud van Nistelrooy helped him a lot in his games in charge, and now he's helping me. He's in a great moment, but that moment started with Ruud. So I just take advantage of Ruud's work with Ahmad. He was really good defending and really good attacking, so he has to continue to play like that. You could feel it in the end of the game, he was really tired, so we have to manage that and increase his physical ability. I'd like to take credit for Ahmad's pressing, but that's him. He's like that. He's smart. He's explosive. Ahmad will be aiming to continue his hot form in United's next Premier League outing. They take on Newcastle at Old Trafford. After a difficult start to the 2024-25 season, a dream January transfer window certainly would not go amiss at Old Trafford. Ruben Amorim arrived in the cut and thrust of the season with the fixtures list, ensuring limited time on the training pitch to implement his methods. What might have become clear is that his squad is not good enough. Since sacking Erik ten Hag, United have been unable to improve their fortunes. The club sit 14th ahead of facing Newcastle United, and despite a raft of signings in the summer, a few more may be required to transform the club's fortunes. Mirror Football take a look at what would be the perfect transfer window for the Red Devils. Marcus Rashford exit the club are open to a transfer, and Marcus Rashford wants to leave. An exit for the academy star may be a moment of sadness, but is a sale that needs to happen. If United can find a suitor willing to pay a fee and the 27-year-old's salary, it will prove a game-changing result for the club whose transfer coffers would be boosted. If nothing else, Amorim will be saved from answering questions after leaving his charge out of a matchday squad. A new forward arrives. Goal scoring has not come easy for United in recent times. The club currently have a negative goal difference in the Premier League and have managed just 21 goals in 18 games. A third of those goals came in just 2 matches too. Rashford's exit would ensure Amorim is even more short of forwards, and while full of potential, Rasmus Højlund has been unable to entirely shoulder the burden of finding the net just yet. Goals win games, and a new striker may be required to fix that. There are reports of a gentleman's agreement in place preventing Amorim raiding Sporting for players next month, but Victor Gyökeres is the standout candidate. The Swede won't come cheap, but is already familiar with Amorim's approach, and United have been served by a mega signing in January before with Bruno Fernandes. A new left-back with Luke Shaw's continued injury issues, and Tyrell Malacia yet to convince Amorim, having a natural left-back is high on the agenda at Old Trafford. A player familiar to the 39-year-old head coach is said to be looking for an exit too. Paris Saint-Germain star Nuno Mendes has seen discussions stall over a new deal in the French capital and has experience of playing under Amorim at Sporting. It would bring greater balance to United's backline and fix a position that has long been a problem. While needing to sell players before buying is never an ideal situation, United do have players who will be heading off their books soon. If that can be achieved in January, all the more benefit to the club to in turn allow new players time to acclimatise in the Premier League. Already a host of names including Rashford, Malacia, Joshua Zirkzee, Antony, Johnny Evans and Christian Eriksen have been left out of matchday squads by Amorim. In a perfect window, perhaps United can complete some good business in the first month of 2025 to relieve Amorim of players he will not utilise. It's 3 defeats in 3 games for Manchester United, and Ruben Amorim's prediction that a storm will come was very much correct. United were dumped out of the Carabao Cup at Tottenham, and they followed that up with a 3-0 loss to Bournemouth before Boxing Day's abysmal 2-0 defeat to Wolves. The good news for Amorim is United's injury list is far shorter than it has been at times over the last few seasons. But there are still some key players on the sidelines who would likely be part of Amorim's strongest starting 11, were they fit. Mason Mount. What Amorim said, he will be out for several weeks. I don't know the exact date, but it's going to be for long, and that's it. That's part of football. You continue. Luke Shaw, injury. Hamstring Shaw suffered a hamstring injury just weeks after returning from injury. He confirmed he had picked up a knock in a social media post, adding that he was absolutely devastated to have suffered another setback. What Amorim said, what I said to him as a coach since I'm here. I saw him in the medical department, in the gym. I saw him losing weight. I saw him in training. So he did everything right. Expected return date, unknown. Matthijs de Ligt. Reason for absence, illness. The Dutch defender was on the bench at Wolves but did not make an appearance. He is expected to be part of the squad to face Newcastle. Expected return date, Newcastle, Victor Lindelof. Injury, unknown. After making a rare start against Tottenham, Lindelof picked up an injury and was replaced in the first half of United's Carabao Cup defeat. What Amorim has said, I think he has something we have to assess to say specifically what he has, but it's tough to lose a player. Expected return date, unknown. Barcelona are understood to be confident they will now be able to register Dani Olmo for the remainder of this season after agreeing an £83 million deal just before the deadline. The La Liga club have been working non-stop after an appeal earlier this week to stop Spain's football authority blocking Olmo's registration was rejected. La Liga have insisted that Barca must find extra income if they are to allow the midfielder to be registered for the remainder of the campaign. In the summer, Barcelona were handed a temporary registration for the remainder of 2024 after they managed to readjust wages to comply with their commitments to financial fair play, FFP. However, La Liga have so far been backed by the courts who believe the Spanish club have not brought in enough revenue to justify Olmo being registered for the remainder of the season. Barcelona argued that refusing Olmo a registration infringed on the player's workers' rights, but that was rejected by the Catalonian court. If they had not found an extra income stream before January, Olmo would be allowed to leave the club on a free transfer next week. This led to speculation that United could snap him up, especially when his agent admitted to visiting Manchester on Boxing Day. However, The Guardian reports that an £83 million deal to sell VIP boxes at the newly revamped Camp Nou has been agreed with Middle Eastern investors, and the first payment will arrive before the deadline. If that is the case, Olmo would be granted a registration, and United's hopes of signing the talented attacking midfielder will have been scuppered. Manchester United winger Ahmad believes there is a player in the current squad who shows better leadership than Bruno Fernandes ahead of his suspension on Monday night. Fernandes was sent off for a second bookable offence with the scores tied at 0-0 during the Premier League clash with Wolverhampton Wanderers on Boxing Day. Ruben Amorim chose not to acknowledge the captain as he exited the pitch, and the dismissal would prove to be the turning point as United lost 2-0 at Molineux. The red card means that Fernandes will be unavailable to face Newcastle in the next clash, meaning Amorim will need to choose not only a player to play alongside Ahmad as a number 10, but also a captain for the night. In a recent interview with SuperSport, the Ivorian was asked to create the perfect United player using attributes from the existing squad. When it came to leadership, Fernandes was bypassed in favour of Lisandro Martinez. The Argentine centre-back is likely to start against the Magpies on Monday night, and it appears Ahmad would back him to be the stand-in captain should Amorim wish for squad input. Casemiro, who could come in to replace the suspended Manuel Ugarte, and Harry Maguire may also be considered as options to wear the armband in Fernandes' absence. Whoever is picked to replace the Portuguese attacking midfielder will be an indication of whom Amorim sees as an example in the squad for others to follow. Fernandes will be back in the United squad for the trip to Liverpool on Sunday, January 5th. Sir Alex Ferguson issued a ruthless "I told you" message to a devastated Manchester United squad straight after their title defeat to Manchester City. The 2011/12 title battle has gone down as the greatest of the Premier League era. Another championship was in United's grasp for most of the final day, which saw them win at Sunderland. That meant City needed 3 points against QPR, who led for much of the game at the Etihad. Entering added time, the West London club was still 2-1 in front, with many City fans already giving up and pouring out of the stadium. But then Edin Dzeko equalised in the 92nd minute before Sergio Aguero, accompanied by Martin Tyler's iconic commentary, scored the goal that won the title on goal difference. The news soon filtered through to the shell-shocked United players and fans at the Stadium of Light. Despite losing the title in such gut-wrenching fashion, Ferguson didn't mince his words in the dressing room, lamenting the team's failure to rack up more convincing victories, and therefore boost their goal difference. Former United player Tom Cleverley, now Watford's head coach, will never forget what United's legendary boss told the players. He told United's official website, "The manager said to us all, 'I told you.' That's why I wanted you to be more ruthless and really kill teams, because you can lose leagues on goal difference." That's how much of a winner he was, how ruthless he wanted us to be. If we'd done that, scored more goals, really killed teams, we'd have won the league in 11-12. Cleverly admitted he still hadn't watched that epic finale back. He said, "I wasn't in the squad at Sunderland that day, but I was on my way down from the director's box at the Stadium of Light, and as soon as Dzeko scored City's equaliser, I knew. I could see it unfolding and that it was meant to be theirs. It was a terrible, terrible day in my career. I still can't listen to Martin Tyler's commentary when the clip comes on Sky Sports. You know the one." United bounced back in style by romping to the title in 2012/13, Sir Alex's final season before retirement. It was United's last league title, and the next one appears further away than ever, with Ruben Amorim now tasked with the previously unthinkable prospect of staving off a relegation battle. Ferguson's retirement was followed by an era of domination, with City winning the league 7 times between 2014 and 2024, 6 under Pep Guardiola. However, that domination has ground to a juddering halt this season, with City in disarray in both the Premier League and Champions League.